You ever just see someone in public complaining about something and you just like want to tell them to shut up because it's not that bad? Well, the old lady in today's story time took the chance to tell someone to shut up because they were being a spoiled brat, and I'm going to be honest, she's a little bit of a hero. Thought you guys would enjoy the story time, so without further ado, let's get into it.
Nice rack and her ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's a million.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. Here is the comment of the day from yesterday's video. Today's story time is really good, though. It was sent in to me, and as soon as I saw the title, I was like, oh yeah, that's perfect for the channel. Grandma destroys spoiled kid. Basically, the person that sent this into me has to take the bus to work because they don't have a car. And yeah, it's not the ideal situation that they would love to be in, but at the end of the day, they're at work to earn money to get a car. And it's not that bad. Like, I feel like the bus gets a bad rap. I'm not saying it's the Taj Mahal, but at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily say, depending on the city you're in, that it's dangerous either. Like, if you've got a good metro system, if buses are actually helpful from getting to point A to point B, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you gotta take the bus to work, you gotta take the bus to work. On this particular day, though, he's trying to get to work, and the bus is late, which was very unusual. It wasn't common for the buses to never be on time, but everyone's kind of standing there and questioning where the bus is, and finally it pulls up, and the bus driver opens the door and is immediately super apologetic, saying that he had had an engine issue and the mechanic had to come out and fix it, and he's so sorry for being late, but it was not his intention. And everybody immediately calms down and reassures him that, like, it's okay, it's not that big of a deal, because he was super apologetic about it, and I highly doubt that the bus driver wanted to be late. It's not like it was his fault. I don't think he was throwing stuff into the engine trying to make it malfunction so he would be late. I don't think you would pick that. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess I've never talked to a bus driver about the ins and outs of their job. Maybe they are willing to, like, cause some engine troubles, but I wouldn't want to do that. Being stuck on the side of the road is never a fun experience, so I highly doubt that the bus driver guy was like, I'm gonna stay and just be here on the side of the road. Especially because there is a chance that people get mad at you for being late. Like, even though it's not your fault, there is a chance. I just don't think he would risk it for the biscuit. But there was this younger guy about the same age as the subscriber, like 20-ish, that starts giving the bus driver crap and is just overall being an unpleasant person, which is dumb because it's not the bus driver's fault. But he starts going off on the bus driver, saying he was a moron and now everyone was going to be late because of his stupidity. I just don't really think stupidity has anything to do with engine troubles either. Sometimes cars don't work, right? Like, it is a piece of machinery at the end of the day. Sometimes machines stop working. I don't think he is a moron because the car stopped working. Under that logic, if you've ever had like a computer that stops working, maybe an Xbox, PlayStation, you're a moron. Plus, everyone else is riding the bus and they're not all freaking out and being upset because it's just clearly not the bus driver's fault. What would you have liked him to do? Snap his fingers, pull out the Harry Potter wand, flick it around a little bit and be like, hocus pocus, bus just focus? It's not gonna work, man. There's not really a magic trick. Even if his stupidity managed to break the bus, if he's so stupid he broke the bus, it's not like you want him fixing the bus, so you still would have had to wait for a mechanic. And I don't even think it has anything to do with the bus driver being stupid. I feel like that was just out of pocket. And listen, I get it. I'm sure it's annoying to be late to work or whatever. But if you don't want the chance of maybe being late to work and the bus is late, maybe start walking. I don't know. Even if you had a car, there's a chance you bump into traffic. Obviously, with public transportation, there's a chance it's gonna be a little late. There's a chance it's not really gonna work. So, duh, if you're really like hell-bent on always being on time, there never being any potential delays, I think public transport's really not the option for you, but anything other than just walking is probably not a good option for you. Everything else has some problems. And the bus driver's just kind of like staring at him while he's going off, not saying anything, because I think contractually in their job, they're probably not allowed to like argue back with people, but he's not going to dignify him and say, oh, you're right, I'm so sorry, and blow sunshine up him either. At least that's not in their contract. I feel like most places have realized the customer is always right was a very dangerous model and led to people thinking they can boss people around, so now you're just allowed to ignore people. But there's an old lady on the bus who's having absolutely none of it, so she gets involved and is like, hey, leave the bus driver alone. He obviously wouldn't break his bus on purpose. How about you just sit down and enjoy your bus ride and stop harassing the poor guy? And everybody is just kind of not cheering the old lady on, but nodding their head like, yeah, all right, we all kind of agree with her. You should just leave the poor guy alone. And you would think being called out by an old lady would make this guy so embarrassed that he would just shut up and sit down. I feel like if I was doing something and some sweet old lady was like, you're being very rude, I would be so embarrassed. I would want to dig my head into some sand. You know, like how ostriches do when they feel threatened, and then just put it in there until I passed out. Like, that would be my goal. I would be so embarrassed. But he snaps back at the old lady, being like, clearly you have nowhere to be. This is very annoying for people that are important and have stuff going on. So how about you shut up? Man, I feel like that would be a little bit of too angry of a response to anyone in this situation, but especially some poor old lady who's just telling you to be nice. Shut up, old lady, you're not important. You have nowhere to be, you absolute loser. That's why you're a pathetic loser who has nothing going on. Your grandkids aren't going to visit you because you're stupid and annoying. She's like, you could have just said no to wanting to buy my cookies. And I think usually some boomers in this situation would have rightfully been like, you are so rude, I can't believe you, this generation is messed up. But not this grandma, she was not here to play. Instead of just letting herself get bossed around like that, she comes back and hits him with the wha-bam, over the top Mike Tyson, not literally, like metaphorically in the insult world. So she just says that clearly she's not the unimportant one because her life's got enough going on where she doesn't have time to get angry at the bus driver for being late. And on top of it, she's not so unimportant at her job that she needs to tear down the bus driver to make herself feel all big. So how about you go ahead and sit down, buddy? And everybody now isn't nodding their head, but just some people have their mouths open like, oh, because she just bodied him, bro. She kind of had a point. I feel like if you've got a lot going on, then really small stuff like someone having car trouble isn't going to ruin your day because you got more important stuff to worry about. If you're the CEO of a company, you're so used to being in charge that hopefully you're not going off on people that have just made small mistakes that are out of their control. But yeah, if you're getting bossed around at Chuck E. Cheese by a boss that sucks, you might take out some anger on the bus driver to make yourself feel better. I'm not saying it would be the right thing to do, but maybe it does happen. And the guy is just standing there stammering, not really knowing what to reply, probably didn't expect Grandma to respond. Respond, sorry. And if he did expect Grandma to respond, he certainly wasn't expecting something like that. Maybe something along the lines of, oh, you don't talk to me like that, young man. That's very disrespectful. No, she came out and said, you're irrelevant, young man. I'm going to be honest, I've met shrimp that are more important than you. So he's stammering, not really knowing what to say back, just looking like an idiot. And so he replies with this. I don't know why he thought this would be a good comeback. Well, you're old. Yeah, dude, she's literally an old lady on the bus. That's just good observational skills. Ah ha ha, you have reached an old age. And she points that out to him too. She's like, wow, nothing gets past you, does it? Which is such a funny response to that. Somebody's pointing out very obvious things about you. How about you shut your mouth? You have 2 legs. It's like, oh wow, crazy. Wow, would you look at that? And then she hits him with the, I'll add it to your list. You're unimportant, dumb, but you're observant. I'll give you that much. And now everybody on the bus, some people are starting to laugh. No one's trying to get involved. No one's yelling or anything. But the guy's standing there stammering, and the bus hasn't started moving yet. The door's still open, and he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk. I don't want to be on this bus. And gets off and starts jogging from the bus. Which I love in his mind was supposed to be some huge own moment, psh, I don't even want to ride the bus. Oh, so now you were just screaming at the bus driver for being late, but you are going to walk? So clearly him being late wasn't that big of a problem if you have enough time to walk. Just be honest, man, this old lady embarrassed you so hard you did not have the dignity to stay on the bus, so you decided to run to work instead. Probably showed up all sweaty halfway through a meeting with a headband on. Whew. Sorry guys, I had to run. I got on the bus. It was a little bit late. I would have been here a lot sooner if I rode it, but an old lady made me feel really, really bad about myself, so I ran instead. They're like, dude, okay, whatever, just sit down. The meeting started. You're already interrupting it. We don't care about what happened on the bus. But to make things even funnier, as I said, the person who sent this to me is like always on the bus. They take it to work. And this guy does too. And he didn't go magically get a car. He still rides the bus. But because of how embarrassed he got on that day, every time he hops on the bus or interacts with the driver, he's like super shy and just keeps his head down, doesn't look at anyone, doesn't talk to anyone. Which has got to be rough, but at the same time, I would be that embarrassed too. Probably was sitting there like eating a sandwich for lunch at work that day. Oh, wow. Yeah, I 100% did yell at an old lady. That was a little bit out of line. But man, what I will say is don't mess with grandma. She was there to smack him down. And also just like don't mess with people that are trying to do their job and something unfortunate happens. Like if you were at an ice cream store and the ice cream machine broke, would you start screaming at that person until they started crying? Use the salt from your tears and make the ice cream by hand. No, you just wouldn't care. It's like kind of the same vibe. Imagine how you would want to be treated if you were having a bad day. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. I know this was a shorter one, but I've been grinding out the daily uploads, especially long ones recently. I've made like an hour and a half of videos in the last 3 days. Not 2 days, 3 days. So if you haven't checked those out, check those out. But if you've been appreciating the grind, I would love you guys pressing the like button, commenting down below, and subscribing if you're new, turning on those notifications. If you like these story times and you want to listen to the audio, I posted on Spotify, link down below. Along with that, you can find a link to the intro song. Feel free to check it out. And I've been doing a podcast over on my third channel, Scrub A. I actually just released an episode yesterday, so head on over there, check that out if you want. And on that note, that'll officially do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.